AutoCAD drawings come in all shapes and sizes. Depending on the discipline, a drawing can represent anything from a tiny mechanical part to an entire city block. With such large variations in size, it's important to know how to navigate your way around in a file. In this lesson, we're going to look at the pan and zoom tools. On my screen, I have a drawing that represents a portion of a large building. Let's say I'd like to zoom in and take a closer look at the conference room area. To do that, I'll place my cursor inside the room and then I'll roll my mouse wheel forward. When I do, notice that AutoCAD centers the zooming on the location of the cursor. If I roll the wheel backward, I can zoom out. Now, what if I want to adjust my view from side to side? To do that, I'll hold the mouse wheel down. Remember, the mouse wheel is also a button. Once the wheel is pushed down, I can drag left and right to pan the view of my drawing. In fact, panning an AutoCAD drawing is much like panning an Adobe Acrobat document. Using the pan and zoom tools together, I can quickly navigate to any point in the drawing. For instance, if I was interested in the lobby area, I'll place my cursor inside that room, I'll roll the wheel forward, I will then hold the wheel down, and I'll pan this to the center of the screen. It's also important to note that the pan and zoom tools can be accessed within any running command. I'm going to back up a little bit. We'll center this a little bit better. And I'd like to talk about some other helpful navigation tricks. If I select this chair and come over and click the top hot spot on the view cube, I can maximize the view of that chair on screen. I'm going to press Escape to deselect that object. Notice that even though I've zoomed in a large distance, my geometry still looks good. That's because AutoCAD is a vector-based application. The geometry that we see on screen is based on mathematical calculations and not pixels. So we can zoom in as much as we want, and the drawing will always look great. I'm going to zoom out a little. I'll pan the drawing over to the right, and I'd like to focus my view on this desk. I'll zoom in a little bit closer, and we can see that this drawing represents a site plan for a proposed restaurant. I'm going to focus the view on this table on the north side of the building. If I get even closer, we can see that on the table is the same mechanical drawing that we've seen in some of our prior lessons. Notice it doesn't look so good here. Because AutoCAD is a vector-based application, there are a lot of computations going on in the background as we navigate around in a file. To allow us to pan and zoom freely, AutoCAD will start to sacrifice the display of the curved objects on screen. This entity is a circle, although it doesn't look like a circle right now. Let me mention that this geometry will always plot just fine. What we're seeing here is a display issue only. To clean up the display of this geometry, I'm going to use a command called regen. We have to access this command through the keyboard. To launch regen, I'm going to type RE, and I'll press Enter. And you can see AutoCAD regenerates the database and cleans up all of the curved geometry on screen. At this point, I'm going to start zooming out. I'll start rolling my wheel backward. Notice in the lower left corner of the screen, AutoCAD is telling me that I've zoomed out as far as possible. I'm going to try and pan from here. Notice even if I try and pan, I'm running into a brick wall. If you pan and zoom large distances, AutoCAD may make you stop and launch the regen command before it allows you to continue to pan and zoom. At this point, I can always type RE to relaunch the regen command. Let's look at another way we can do it. If I come down to the command line and right-click, AutoCAD will display a menu. At the very top, I can go to Recent Commands and select Regen. I can then zoom out and center my drawing on screen. I'm going to zoom in on this office. I'll center this. In the event you would like to quickly back up and view the extents of your file, you can also do that by double-clicking your mouse wheel. Using AutoCAD's pan and zoom tools, you can quickly navigate any file, regardless of how big or small that file may be.